The central theme of today's journey is something both simple and profoundly transformative, the idea that youthful vitality is maintained not by force, but by gentle continuity. Across Japan, particularly in regions where elders routinely live past 100 with grace and clarity, morning movement is not optional, it is sacred. But these are not workouts. They are not routines designed to push, strain, or exhaust. Instead, they are 6 ancient movements, quiet, fluid, deliberate, each shaped by generations observing how the human body ages, and how it can stay luminous far beyond its expected years. These movements are rooted in principles older than modern wellness, the balance of breath and posture, the flow of energy through the spine, the soft awakening of joints that crave kindness more than intensity. When practiced together, they create a sequence that feels less like exercise and more like a conversation, your body speaking with time and time responding gently. They nurture circulation, stabilize balance, refine flexibility, and encourage the kind of inner stillness that keeps the mind clear and the heart steady. But the deeper truth, the one often missed, is that these movements sustain the relationship between your body and your life. They signal to your muscles, continue to receive the world. They whisper to your cells, you are still growing. They remind the nervous system, there is more ahead than behind. This is the heart of our exploration. That youthfulness is not a memory to chase, but a rhythm you can return to, one slow breath, one gentle motion at a time. Now let's move deeper into why this matters so deeply on a human level. As we move deeper into this journey, it's important to pause and ask a quiet, honest question: why does movement, especially gentle, intentional movement, matter so profoundly as we age? Because aging is not just a physical process. It is emotional, it is psychological. It shapes how we see ourselves and how we belong in the world. For many people over 60, there is a moment, sometimes subtle, sometimes startling, when they feel themselves beginning to withdraw. Not because they want to, but because life slowly becomes smaller. The body stiffens, balance feels uncertain, confidence shifts, and the world begins to seem just a little farther away. In Japan's elder communities, these 6 ancient movements act as a quiet rebellion against that shrinking. They expand what age often tries to compress. They give elders a way to inhabit their bodies with dignity, to reclaim space, to feel capable, steady, grounded. These movements are not simply physical gestures. They are reminders. Reminders that the body still listens. Reminders that resilience still lives within the joints. Reminders that softness can be strength. And perhaps, more importantly, they restore something deeply human, the sense that we are still connected. To ourselves, to our breath, to our presence in the world. When elders in Japan practice these movements, they are not chasing youth. They are honoring life. They are reminding themselves that their story is still unfolding gracefully, intentionally, beautifully. As you listen, you may feel a small opening within you, an invitation to believe that your own body still holds more ease, more vitality, more possibility than you realize. Now, let us illuminate the quiet science behind this ancient wisdom. When we look at these 6 ancient Japanese movements through the lens of modern science, something remarkable becomes clear. Their power is not mystical. It is beautifully, elegantly biological. Slow, deliberate motion activates a different intelligence within the body, one that high-intensity exercise can sometimes override. These movements awaken the sensory nerves beneath the skin, the small stabilizing muscles around the joints, and the delicate pathways that coordinate balance, posture, and orientation in space. This is called proprioceptive refinement, and it is one of the quiet foundations of graceful aging. Each gentle motion also stimulates synovial fluid, the body's natural joint nourishment, allowing stiffness to soften and mobility to return with surprising ease. Circulation deepens. Breath becomes a steady anchor. The parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for calm and restoration, begins to guide the body's rhythm. Science has shown that when we move slowly, the brain becomes more attentive, more adaptive, more alive. Neural pathways strengthen, stress hormones fall, muscles recruit more evenly, and the body shifts from survival to renewal. But perhaps the most fascinating insight is this: gentle movement preserves vitality because the body interprets slowness as safety, and when the body feels safe, it heals, it rejuvenates, it remembers how to function with grace. These 6 ancient gestures do not overpower the body, they harmonize it. They teach the nervous system to trust itself again. They invite the brain to stay awake, engaged, youthful. And in this simple harmony between intention and motion, we discover a truth that science and tradition quietly agree on. The body was never meant to rush. It was meant to flow. Now let us step into the world where this wisdom meets luxury longevity care. Inside a world-class luxury longevity clinic, the first thing you notice is not technology. It is silence, a curated, intentional stillness that invites the body to exhale after years of rushing. In this space, healing is not hurried. It is orchestrated with the grace of a ritual. Before any advanced therapy begins, before diagnostics or bespoke treatment plans, our clients are guided into a room bathed in soft, natural light warm textures and the gentle scent of hinoki and white tea. Here, the 6 ancient Japanese movements are introduced not as exercises but as an initiation, a way of asking the body for permission before transformation begins. We start slowly, lifting the arms, releasing the spine, awakening the lower body with subtle shifts that feel almost like returning to an older, forgotten language. These movements prepare the nervous system, soften muscular tension, and cultivate the balanced internal state required for deeper regenerative work. When the body enters this harmony, every treatment that follows, cellular therapy, oxygenation suites, microcirculation chambers, acts more effectively, more elegantly. In the clinic, we see it daily. Clients who arrive tense, compressed, burdened by time begin to open within minutes. Breathing deepens, shoulders fall, faces soften, a sense of inner spaciousness returns, and this shift is not merely physical, it is emotional, almost spiritual. Clients often describe it as coming back to themselves, as if these ancient movements unlock a doorway that modern life had quietly closed. This is where tradition and luxury intersect, in the simple act of preparing the body to receive care with dignity, presence, and calm. Now let us step into the client's own sensory experience. Imagine stepping into a quiet studio just beyond the clinic's main corridor. The floor is warm beneath your feet. Light filters through pale shoji panels, softened to a gentle gold, and the air carries the subtle scent of hinoki wood and freshly steeped sencha. A practitioner invites you to stand not rigidly, but naturally, as though meeting yourself for the first time today. The first movement begins. Your arms lifting slowly as if rising through water. Your shoulders release with a quiet sigh you didn't know you'd been holding. Your breath follows, becoming longer, smoother, more deliberate. The second movement rotates the spine, unhurried, a graceful turn toward forgotten inner space. You feel your ribs widen, your weight settle, your mind soften, thoughts lose their edges. With each of the 6 movements, something gentle awakens, an awareness of how your body used to feel before the world demanded so much of it. You sense warmth spreading through your limbs, a calming clarity settling behind the eyes, a quiet electricity returning to places long dormant. By the final gesture, slow, closing sweep of the hands, your posture has lengthened, your breath has deepened, your presence has returned. The room feels larger. You feel lighter, as if time has loosened its grip. Many clients describe this moment not as exercise, but as revelation, a subtle but unmistakable shift from carrying the body to being in the body, and in that rediscovery, soft, luminous, deeply human, you begin to understand why these ancient movements endure. Now, let's step into a more intimate story, where one person's quiet transformation tells the truth better than any explanation could. There is a woman I think about often, 81 years old, elegant in a way that felt effortless, as though grace had chosen her long ago. She came to the clinic not for treatment but for clarity. Her words were simple. I feel like I'm fading from myself. We began each morning with the 6 ancient Japanese movements. The first day, her motions were small, hesitant, almost guarded. Her breath was shallow, as if she weren't sure how much space she was allowed to take. But by the end of the week, something softened. She lifted her arms with a quiet confidence. Her spine unwound as though years of untold stories were finally exhaling. And during the gentle twisting movement, she paused and tears welled in her eyes. Not sadness, recognition. After completing the sequence, she whispered, I remember this feeling. I used to wake like this, alive inside my own body. It wasn't youth she regained. It wasn't strength or flexibility, though those came too. It was presence. A renewed intimacy with herself. A sense of belonging to the life she was still living. She told me later that these movements didn't make her feel younger. They made her feel returned. Returned to her breath, to her balance, to her quiet courage, to the version of herself she thought age had erased. Her story reminds us that aging is not about disappearance. It is about rediscovery. And within these 6 ancient movements lies the possibility of finding yourself again, gently, beautifully, without force. Now let us step into the realm where ancient wisdom meets the most advanced technologies of modern longevity. In the quiet elegance of modern longevity clinics, technology often appears as something luminous, almost ethereal. Softly glowing chambers, precision sensors, regenerative therapies, each designed to support the body in ways that were once only imagined. Yet even in this realm of cutting-edge innovation, the 6 ancient Japanese movements remain central. They are the prelude of the preparation, the gentle invitation for the body to receive more fully. As a client flows through the sequence, the nervous system settles, circulation increases, the breath deepens, and the body enters a state of perfect receptivity. It is in this state that advanced therapies work most beautifully. Oxygenation chambers enhance tissue repair, Regenerative peptides activate with greater efficiency. Light therapies synchronize with the body's own rhythms. Here, tradition and innovation do not compete, they converse. Ancient movement primes the body to receive the gifts of modern science. Science, in turn, amplifies the subtle intelligence of movement, reinforcing coordination, balance, and energy flow. Picture this convergence. A body moving slowly and deliberately, then bathed in soft spectrum light, every cell aware, receptive, alive. The result is more than healing, it is integration. A symphony of past and present, of wisdom and technology, of breath, motion, and light. In this space, aging is not a limitation but an artful process. And as we witness it, we realize that innovation is most powerful when guided by the quiet, enduring principles of movement, presence, and respect for the human body. Now, let us step into the vision of a future shaped by this harmony. Imagine a world where aging is not measured by decline, but by refinement, by the quiet unfolding of vitality, where 60 is not a threshold of limitation, but the beginning of a new, luminous chapter. Where the body moves with intention, the breath flows with ease, and the mind greets each day with curiosity rather than caution. In this vision, the 6 ancient Japanese movements are no longer a secret ritual. They are a daily practice woven into homes, communities, and clinics. Morning light filters through serene spaces designed for gentle awakening. Elders move slowly, deliberately, honoring their bodies while embracing the wisdom of the present. Technology exists here not to dominate, but to harmonize. Regenerative therapies, light treatments, and subtle diagnostics enhance, never replace, the innate intelligence of the body. People live with a sense of spaciousness, a deep calm, an inner clarity that radiates outward. The lines on faces are no longer markers of loss, but stories of a life fully inhabited. The world slows, not because time changes, but because we have learned to move within it gracefully, mindfully, elegantly. And in this vision, we see ourselves, not chasing youth, not resisting age, but inhabiting life with presence, with dignity, with wonder. Time becomes a companion, not a master. Every gesture, every breath, every motion is a reminder we are still capable, still alive, still unfolding. And as we return to our own present, this vision lingers, a gentle invitation to carry grace, vitality, and presence into each day. Now let us move into a quiet reflection, embracing what these moments mean for our inner lives. As we come to the close of this journey, take a quiet moment to notice how your body feels, how your breath flows, how stillness can carry so much presence. Perhaps you feel a subtle awakening, a lightness in your shoulders, a softening in your spine, a renewed sense of connection to yourself. Perhaps a memory of how your body once moved comes forward, or a hope arises for how it could move again. Even a single gesture, practiced mindfully, can remind us that vitality is never entirely lost. It simply waits for attention, care, and presence. These 6 ancient Japanese movements remind us that youthfulness is not measured by age, it is experienced in rhythm, in breath, in the quiet harmony between body and mind. They teach us that strength can be gentle, that presence can be cultivated, that life's fullness is not diminished by the years, but deepened by them. And as you reflect, notice how these movements, this awareness, can enter your everyday life, not as a regimen or task but as a subtle, continuous conversation with your own body. Allow yourself to feel gratitude for the body that carries you, for the breath that sustains you, for the capacity to move, to awaken, to return to yourself. In this awareness, aging transforms. It is no longer a march toward endings, but a series of discoveries, gentle, elegant, and luminous. Now, let us close with a soft invitation to carry this calm forward and remain connected to the path of presence and vitality. Thank you for spending this time in stillness and reflection, for allowing yourself to witness the quiet power of movement, the grace that comes with presence, the gentle unfolding of life in harmony with your body. If today's journey offered even a single moment of clarity, a breath of possibility, or a soft reminder of your own inner strength, carry that with you. Let it guide the way you rise in the morning, the way you stand, walk, and move through your day, the way you return, gently, to yourself. Remember that these 6 ancient Japanese movements are more than gestures, they are invitations. Invitations to slow down, to breathe, to inhabit your body fully, and to honor the life that still flows through you. In doing so, you do not chase youth, you cultivate presence. You nurture grace, you awaken vitality that has always been within. If you wish to continue exploring the art of living beautifully, of aging with elegance, clarity, and deep reverence for the body, this channel is here for you, always. Thank you for watching. Today we learned how to slow time, just a little. If you're on a journey to live longer, feel younger, and become the best version of yourself, make sure to subscribe and stay with us. And always remember, time doesn't define you. You define time. Stay ageless, stay evolving.